Well, I'm glad to say that we have our good friend and colleague back from Hawaii, Johanna Leone. It feels really good to have her back, especially during times like this. It is sad that her husband, Gavin, is on assignment of his own. Well, now, back to business. Tracey has some information on a strange turn of events. Well, for me, what she described is all too familiar, but I'll let her explain herself.
Another key member of CUPIC AZ is Tracey Henderson. She is a native Californian and was raised in Redondo Beach. Tracey went to UCLA to study criminology, where she graduated with a bachelor's. She then joined the Long Beach Police Department, where she achieved the position of detective. She served 15 years with the force before retiring after she was injured in a shootout. Tracey furthered her education enough to become a college professor in criminology. She was recruited into CUPIC by Cynthia Young. Tracey and her husband moved to Phoenix back in 2002, where she joined Johanna at CUPIC AZ.
Personal Journal, Tracey Henderson. We're following up on the information provided by Sergeant Wilkins. His encounters with the mysterious men in black are indeed extraordinary. After discussing the case with colleagues within the organization, I'm finding out that quite a few have had similar incidents. What's new? Eyewitnesses, including Sergeant Wilkins, have reported seeing unmarked black choppers.
So, what's happening with you?
Some of the same stuff. Mysterious black vehicle parked outside of my house or following me. Strange men wearing all black staring at my house. Mysterious black helicopters.
What was that? Helicopters?
Yeah.
Stories of black helicopters first appeared in the 1970s and were linked to reports of UFOs and cattle mutilations. During the late 80s and early 90s, eyewitnesses have reported to CUPIC and other investigative organizations that black helicopters have appeared to them after they had reported their initial sighting.
We've had several occurrences of our investigators and some of our eyewitnesses observing what looked like to them as a silent or low-noise helicopter appearing in the air and seemingly to follow them. They were Huey-type helicopters with no markings, and they were black. After some investigating and talking with some of our military friends, especially the Army and the National Guard, they said that their helicopters are olive drab, a dark green color, and never black.
I ran this past the group and got some responses from both Bob and Cynthia.
I happened to see a similar helicopter last year. It was the day that Gavin and I met with Anthony Powers. I remember walking to my car and looking up. There it was, way up there, Nom-type chopper. I could barely hear the engine. Then I was distracted by some jackass asking me for the time.
Sir, do you have the time?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. About 3:30.
Yeah, 15 and a half hours into another wasted day. When I looked back up, it was gone. Stupid idiot. Buy a watch.
Well, Cindy told me about an incident that happened back in the 90s with her husband and Janet Raphael. They were following up on the Ramon case. He claimed to see one of those mystery choppers.
Mr. Ramon had first seen what looked like a black Huey-type helicopter after his initial UFO sighting. Since then, he had seen the mystery chopper on 6 different occasions over various locations throughout the valley, day and night. It was more than likely not a coincidence.
Personal journal entry. Janet Raphael. April 13th. Cynthia and I met up with Francisco Ramon, who related to us the details of his encounter with the mysterious helicopter that has been following him since his UFO sighting. We are eagerly awaiting the answer to this mystery.
To stay here and wait a few minutes.
How long is a few minutes?
Oh, about 30.
Oh, okay.
Wait, listen.
According to her, several members reported seeing the helicopters. There were quite a few from other organizations.
Wow. Way back then, huh?
Yeah. It's not new. In fact, there was an incident with a CUPIC LA member. She saw the helicopter, and then something strange happened.
Yvette Kinney is a CUPIC LA member from Long Beach. She was working on a case involving an eyewitness in El Segundo. In the early evening hours, she returned home and noticed something in the sky above her house. A black helicopter. She was then distracted by a presence which startled her. Two strange men wearing black suits were standing in front of her. They asked a few odd questions and left the scene, leaving Yvette stunned and confused.
Well, it seems that it doesn't matter about the complexity of the initial sighting.
What do you mean?
Well, I have a friend who does night sky photography as a hobby. He saw something unusual in the sky. Nothing major. When he got home from work, he noticed that familiar thing in the sky. A black chopper. Way up there. And later that night, Jean had a very strange visitor.
Anthony Powers said that he and a few of his colleagues had similar visits or surveillances by these MIBs.
When you first met with Sandra, you were concerned about the surveillance and being watched. Can you expand on that?
Yes, ever since I returned from meeting a colleague in LA last year regarding his time in Area 51. We never really got into what he saw there, but I learned some serious things were happening to him. He was being watched and followed. He felt his phones were being tapped. It was really bad for him.
And according to her personal journal, Sandra was investigating a couple of incidents in Sedona involving MIBs and surveillance.
This morning, I am traveling to Sedona to meet with someone who worked at Area 51. They are supposed to have a unique insight on the mystery crafts and also information on some kind of mystery surveillance that they are experiencing.
Whoa! What did I walk in on?
Current events. What's on your mind, Cynthia?
We have a new case we need to look into. Pilots and the like.
Oh. Geez, this would have been a good one for Gavin. We do have McHale. And you, sir.